Oh, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I think to the first hour, let me check in the chat room, see if anybody actually showed up today. Well, who do we got? Well, hello, of course, Charles Christopher there, a CCF. Good to see you, Victor. Good day to you, too. Step away from the whore. That's the name, Step Away. I guess that's what Step Away means, step away from the beast or step away from the whore church. And we have Richard. And WW is listed in the chat room. I don't see any activity since I got in here this morning by WW. So hopefully you can give me a hello there. Hope everything's going well over there in Myrtle Beach. And of course then there's me studio, and all of the people are going, oh wow, I should get in the chat room. Because I'm actually listening live on Wednesday mornings. You know, on Wednesday morning in the 9 a.m. Pacific time or noon Eastern time, and you should join us in the chat room. So a hearty hello to all of you in the chat room. Oh, let's look at breaking news for the first segment here, and I'll check in the chat room a few times in case anyone has any other breaking news they want to add. Big fire in Manhattan, so I got that covered. Apparently there was an explosion in a residential building, and it's now a 5-alarm fire or something. Anyway, multiple buildings on fire, 15 people are in the hospital. There. That's all I know about that from scanning that one. But let's look at other breaking news. Red alert, Russia war threat. Ukraine puts its military in high alert on Sunday in response to Russia's move to seize control of Crimean Peninsula. And it threatened war against Moscow if the Kremlin made further incursion into Ukrainian territory as Western powers scrambled to find a response to the crisis. Is this the red alert? This is the red alert. Yeah, whatever. Is this the beginning of World War III? Oh no. I don't think it's. I think it's their business over there between Russia and its former state that they're giving money to and supporting, kind of like America gives it. What do they call it in America? They call it foreign aid. So Russia gives foreign aid, whatever, and they're having some kind of thing over there, but I don't think this is going to start World War III. Okay, I don't see how. Let's see what else we got more on this one. Ukraine, Russia has launched an armed invasion. I'm a little bit hot there on my mic. Russia's launched an armed invasion in Crimea. That's the little vicinity below the Ukraine, I guess. I was looking at a map, and so anyway, President Barack Obama, otherwise known as Barry Soetoro, or that what country is he from? Whatever country he's from, that guy, the Roman Procurator of America. The Washington, D.C. District of Columbia. Okay. He plunged into the crisis in Ukraine last night, warning Russia that there would be costs for any military intervention. Too late. And that any violation of Ukrainian sovereignty would be deeply destabilizing. Speaking in an unplanned appearance at the White House, President Obama warned Russia against threatening Ukraine's territorial integrity via Crimea. More. Ukraine accuses Russia of armed invasion after Crimea airports blockaded. Russian troop movements near Ukraine raise concerns, U.S. officials say. Putin orders combat readiness tests for Western Central Russian troops. Okay. Hey, China, we should do this once in a while, China introduces 2 anti-Japanese holidays. People we don't like, we should just have anti-holidays for them, right? Anyway, let's see what that's about, too. Well, how do you have an anti-Japanese holiday? And who cares? I mean, what is Japan? It's a couple islands. It's almost like, I guess it's like China's Israel, you know. You got the rest of the world against this little itty-bitty strip of country in the Mideast called Israel, and you have China against Japan, a couple islands that are suffering from nuclear fallout, you know, from that great tsunami or whatever in 2011, and so China is picking on them, I guess. But none of my business. I guess that's between China and Japan. Wait a minute. You know, if we'd have taken George Washington's advice and kept our nose out of other countries' business and kept all of our work at home, we'd be a lot better off today. We wouldn't have to pay tribute to all these. Not tribute. What am I saying? Tribute. We wouldn't have to pay tribute to all these other countries. We call it foreign aid. But I'm going to tell you what it is. It really is. It's Roman tribute, because it is the Roman Empire, well, through the city of the empire, the unholy trinity that rules the world, that forces America to give foreign aid to all these other countries. So if you're forced to give foreign aid to other countries, America, you are under tribute. See, because the Roman Empire, the unholy trinity that rules the world, they don't have to give it. They're taking your money and putting it where they want it. That's called tribute. But it's so much nicer if we call it foreign aid, is it not? And we indebt the American slaves who fill out their 1040 Inquisition forms every year into paying this tribute or foreign aid to other countries. So China introduces, let's see what that says. With the annual meeting of China's parliament about to begin in smoggy Beijing, the Chinese government is in desperate need of a distraction. They're having problems over there in China. Got another article. Maybe I'll bring that up on one of our other segments about the social unrest in China. China is ready for a social revolution of some sort. Yes, with the affluence, the mounting affluence of the citizenry of China, well, you know what happens. People become dissatisfied with things as they have been and as they were, and begin to demand more liberties. So China will have its own problems. I don't think we have to worry about, Mr. Cycles' constant harping on the threat of China invading America. Okay, the pollution in the capital has been especially thick over the past week, obscuring the city's skyscrapers just as delegates from all over the country arrive for the opening of now I got to click on this to go to the rest of the story. National... I've got a text message. I think I better check this and see what's going on. It may be a sound check. Hold on there for a second. Let me read this thing here. Read. Okay. Oh, sound is good here. Well, thank you so much for that, Mr. Sound Check guy. Yeah, we're working out I have a remote, what do you call him? A remote producer. Texting me. Thank you for that, Richard. Anyway, so let's back to the story here. I want to hear about these anti-Japanese holidays, but I think that's not what the story is really about. I think that was just something in the title. Here it is. Now China's taking its anti-Japanese campaign to a new level. One item on the agenda this week for lawmakers at the National People's Congress will be to propose a proposal to commemorate this country's long and ultimately victorious fight against the Japanese Empire and World War II. Well, they're going to dig in history for this one. Okay, if the proposal passes, there's little doubt about that for what amounts to a rubber stamp legislature. Yeah, I think we have one of those in America too, don't we? Don't we have what they call a rubber stamp legislature? Whatever the unholy trinity that rules the world wants, they get through their rubber stamp legislature in America. Yeah, both houses. First of all, the Congress is supposed to be the People's Congress. And then there's the other one. What is it? The Senate, which is supposed to represent the states. which they tore away from the states and just made them a little extension of the much more powerful extension of the Congress than the other individual, because there's only 2 senators for each state, but there's so many congressmen. So those are 2 powerful senators, and they represent the people, but not the state government. You know, I still don't understand how the states allowed that to happen. There's some shenanigans going on in our history there with the ripping away of the state's power and that balance in our government, in the Constitution, slowly eroding what little good there was in the Constitution, beside the Bill of Rights. That's that was the saving grace of the Constitution, which wasn't really even a part of the Constitution, but was tacked on to the end of it. Otherwise, they would have never got their Constitution passed. And I contend that it was the unholy trinity, which was not a trinity at the time, because the third leg of that unholy trinity was introduced with the Constitution. But it was the other aspects of that introduced the Constitution. And it's probably written in Georgetown University. No doubt. I'd like to know who really wrote it. You know, it's kind of like, who wrote the Patriot Act? Well, we know that came out of Georgetown University. Yes, say Jesuit University. Okay, let's see. Now China's taken as anti-Japanese. Okay, one item. Okay, where are we going? Okay, if the proposal passes, there's little doubt about that for what amounts to a rubber stamp legislature. China will have not 1, but 2 national holidays that can easily turn into hate on Japan days. Well, I know it's not funny, but you know, it's so ridiculous that it is funny. One on September 3rd to be called Victory Day of the Chinese People's War for Resistance Against Japanese Aggression. Wow, talk about having a long memory. Yes. It will mark the end of the World Anti-Fascist War. Then on December 13th, there will be a National Memorial Day for the victims of the Nanjing Massacre, the 1937 atrocity by Japanese soldiers in the former Chinese capital. China puts the death toll at more than 300,000 over some 6 weeks. Yeah, well, they should have had that holiday right away after World War II, and they should kind of be letting go of it now, but we understand they're having a little squabble over the itty-bitty tiny Japanese holdings over there in near China. Okay, next item on our breaking news here. This is no recovery. This is a bubble, and it will burst. Okay, according to the stock market, the UK economy is in a boom. Not just any old boom, but a historic one. On 28 October 2013, the FTSE 100 index hit 6,734, in case you have any idea what that means, breaching the level achieved at the height of the economic boom before the 2008 global financial crisis that was 6,730 recorded in October 2007. Since then, it has its ups and downs, but February 2014 climbed to a new high. At this rate, it may soon surpass the highest ever level achieved since the index began. The current levels of share prices are extraordinarily, considering the economy has not yet recovered the ground lost since the 2008 crash. So, you know, I guess they're having bubbles in the market, and that's that, and perhaps going to precipitate the final global crash. And let's see, I had another chart here that somebody sent me. Let's see if I can find it. I think I actually put it in the trash here. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay. Oh, okay, here it is. I do have that, and I'll put that on the screen. This is a chart from Sovereign Man. So I want you to know how the recovery looks, people. I'm going to put this on the screen right now for all of you that are actually watching the video here. let's see, which button do I push? Oh, this button to get it on the screen. There it is, right there. And this is a chart. This shows you here Federal Reserve capital as of a percentage of assets leading up to the 2008 crash, and then you see a definite crash here, right? Okay, and this has been the recovery here, and here we are now. This is called, we've been in a Great Recession, Depression up to this point right here where we are now, and or till just recently, and this point on is what they call the recovery. As you can see, the trend continues down, and I think this epitomizes the true financial scene what's going on right now. But this is what they're calling the recovery. Oh, how sad it is! Yes. Okay, let's get back to the news and let's see. I might as well put that on the screen. Leave it up there for you. Okay. Yes, you can see that. That's anyway. Put me back up here until I figure out what I'm going to talk about next. All right, let's see. What am I going to? So it's not a recovery. It's a bubble, and I'll tell you, you know, if you looked at that chart, you notice it went straight up until 2008. And I'll tell you, times were good, even here at First Amendment Radio, because you know our support and revenues were going up like that too. And then in 2008. You know, we kind of went over the edge and floated a little bit, and then it went down and followed the rest of the that graph that you saw there. That's where we're at now. We're in the recovery. And from that graph, what you saw, what they call a recovery, is actually, you know, continuing downward. So it's all, you know, bullscat. That's what they say. It's all BS, man. That's all I could say about their recovery. So this is no recovery. This is a bubble, and it will burst. As a matter of fact, I think the burst is what they're planning for. They're trying to get that burst on so that they can introduce, of course, Satan's conspiracy to take over the world monetary system and number every person and gain their allegiance in order to participate in his fiat usury system. Because see, right now, you know, you don't have to sign up and be a card-carrying member of his monetary system, though most people are, many unwittingly. But I don't think there will be any unwitting participants when it is finally introduced. Most people will just transition right through, but the elect of God will not be able to participate in that final establishment of the one world mark of the beast monetary system. 2018, as I've warned before, is their target date. Go to my website and you can see a mark of the beast target date 2018. Read the article there, or get my book. You know, go to my website. You'll see the cover of the book on the right hand side says Footsteps of Mystery Babylon. Get the book and help support this broadcast and First Amendment Radio, all of the work here. Okay, let's see. Volcanoes confuse global warming scientists. Well, you know, when you consider that global warming scientists, just that they call themselves, rather than being, you know, atmospheric scientists, but they're global warming scientists, they're confused already. So do we really need an article? Is that really a news flash that the global warming scientists are confused? Okay, what else? Supreme Court to consider EPA's authority to regulate greenhouse gases. How do you do that? You know, if you have a gas meter, your public utility, you know, the state can regulate the public utilities and your gas meter and your electric meter, but how do you regulate greenhouse gases? Anyway, so and we'll see how that turns out anyway. So the Supreme Court's going to try their hand, and we'll see what the agenda is. Let's see. Supreme Court's first big battle over climate change was initiated by states and environmentalists charging that the Environmental Protection Agency under President George W. Bush had abdicated its duty to regulate greenhouse gases. The sequel is the opposite. Different states and different industrialists are charging that the EPA under President Obama has run amok with that power. Okay, so there you go. So we got that to look forward to coming up with the Supremes in the near future. The 9 Supremes, let's see, how does that work? What do we got? I think it's 6 Catholics, 2 Jews, and 1 atheist. Is that anybody in the chat room know the makeup of the Supreme Court there? Let me check. We got a break coming up. So if you know the makeup of Catholics, Jews, atheists on the Supreme Court, maybe we could flesh that out. Anyway, we are going to go into a break here, and we'll be back in a few minutes, and I'll decide during that, unless someone makes a suggestion in the chat room, what I'm going to talk about. So do not go anywhere. We shall return.
You're listening to FirstAmendmentRadio.com worldwide. Freedom is never free. We need your support today at FirstAmendmentRadio.com.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. Then, when you subscribe, we will send you the last quarterly MP3 CD of that program immediately, and continue to do so with each new quarter. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening. Gold and silver is tremendously undervalued. Global demand vastly exceeds mine supply by more than 60% annually. There is little in the financial world more certain than a coming explosion in the prices of gold and silver. The U.S. dollar continues to lose value and respect as the world's reserve currency. Our nation faces challenges on many fronts, and a day doesn't pass without another economist bringing forth warnings of impending economic calamity. There has never been a better time than right now to acquire physical gold and silver. Discount Gold and Silver Trading was founded on the principles of truth and honesty. We believe in providing a quality product, quality service, and most importantly, competitive pricing. We provide all forms of precious metals, including American gold, silver, platinum, and rare investment and circulated coins. Silver bars, rounds, and 90% silver bags are on hand for the silver investor. Gold self-directed IRAs are available. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, that's 1-800-375-4188.
welcome back. You're listening to Cross the Border. This is our Prophecy Reality Edition. And we have the studio cam on, and I have some breaking news from the chat room. Let's see. The building that's burning in Manhattan may have been hit by that missing Malaysian plane. Breaking news, only heard here on First Amendment Radio and Prophecy Reality Report. No, well, wait a minute. Oh, you guys are making up news in the chat room. Come on. Now, don't you think if you're not in the chat room, you should join the chat room so you can have that much fun? So if you're listening live on Wednesday morning on the West Coast or early in the afternoon on the East Coast, you can join us in the chat room live, and you can actually even watch the video. And that video is at, let's see, prophecyrealitytv.net. That's all. The link is, I just put that in the chat room too. Anyway, let's see, what else are we going to talk about here besides made up news from the chat room? But it was a good one, CCF. For a good laugh anyway. We got to laugh a little. We can't take all this stuff too seriously, right? Right. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh yeah. Anybody know? We were talking about the Supreme Court to consider the EPA's authority. So who is the Supreme Court? I've never done this before, but I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the Supreme Court now. SUPREEM, COURT. And let's see if we Google the Supreme Court, and maybe we ought to look at what Wikipedia says about the Supreme Court, because I would like to know. I think it's 6 Catholics on the Supreme Court. We have a majority Catholic, and who Catholics are. A lot of good Catholics, but their highest authority is not the United States Constitution. Their highest allegiance and authority, because I know mine. When you're religious, your religion is higher than your civil government. Okay, and I speaking as a Protestant, but see, as a Protestant, I don't have a higher earthly authority than the civil governments around me. See, I have to go to a heavenly authority. But see, now if you're a Catholic, you have a higher earthly authority in the Vatican than you do in your own country. And the Vatican is another country. So there's a conflict of interest there. And that's why Catholics were not allowed to participate in early American government until, until the Constitution. Yes, you see that. So if you want a little more, want to flesh that out a little more, read F. Tupper Saucy's Rulers of Evil to find out the true meaning, what that meant for the world scene, and the ability of the Antichrist to control this country as well. Let's see. Who are the justices of the Supreme Court? Composition, size of court, appointment and confirmation, recess appointments, tenure. Oh, current justices. Here we go. Let's see. Please go away. Okay. I might as well put this on the screen. You guys probably get tired of looking at my face. So I'm going to, oops, wrong button again. There we go. So we have current justices. Let's see what we got here. John Roberts, Chief Justice. Let's see. Appointed by George W. Bush. Age at appointment 50. Let's see. They don't give you religious affiliation. So I don't know who he is or anything. I guess I have to click on him to find out who he is. So let's do that. Let's click on John Roberts there. Perhaps I should just open that in a new tab and then go back to this one here. Okay, and go back. All right, let's go to the John Roberts tab. Let's see if we can find out what he is. I don't know. Let's see. Incumbent, George W. Bush. There it is, Roman Catholic. Now I know where to look. So Roman Catholic. Put John Roberts down as Roman Catholics. So let's see. So far, where's my pen? So far, what I'm going to do here, Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do so you'll know what I'm doing. Okay, now you see my face. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this the Sharpie here, and oh, there it is there. And I'm going to put R for Roman Catholics, like we're keeping score. And I'm going to put a P for Protestants, and I'm going to put a J for Jew, and I'm going to put an A for atheists, okay? So now, in the Roman column, I'm putting 1 for John Roberts. Let's see what else happens here. Okay, so we know John Roberts is a Catholic. Okay? Now, this is very important, as I've explained to you. So let's see, who is our next one? Antonin Scalia. Okay, let's close the John Roberts tab there. And let's open up a tab here. Let me put this back on the screen so you can follow along with me. Okay, so now I'm going to say open in new tab, Anton Scalia. Let's see what he is. We're waiting for the count. Come on. Oh, there it is. And let's see. Let's scroll down here a little bit to the bottom where they put his religious affiliation. And Roman Catholic. So Anton Scalia. So that's 2 in the Roman Catholic column so far. So let's close that one. And let's see what the next guy is. Okay, we got Anton Scalia. Let's go. Anthony Kennedy. Okay. Let's see. Let's right-click on Anton Kennedy's name so we can go to his Wikipedia page. And here it is, loading, and there he is. Let's scroll down here on the right-hand side. And oh, here it is, right on the right-hand side. See it? I'm waving my mouse around it so it can see religion, Roman Catholicism. So, okay, so I'm putting another one. So far, it's the score is 3 for the Romans, 0 for the Protestants, 0 for the Jews, and 0 for the atheists. I don't think there are any Islams, but that might happen. If Obama gets to a point, well, we might get a jihadist in the Supreme Court, but we'll see about that. Okay, let's close that. Let's see who's our next one here. We'll scroll down, and we have Clarence Thomas, okay? Appointed by George H.W. Bush. That was the first Bush. Herbert Walker. And let's see. Let's right-click on his name and see what happens. Following along here, open link in new tab, and let's see what happens. We're awaiting the results right now, live on Prophecy Reality TV. Yes, indeed. Clarence Thomas, let's see, appointed by Ronald Reagan, and Roman Catholic. Well, boy, those Romans are certainly winning this game, aren't they? Okay, Clarence Thomas, Roman Catholic. Let's see, alma mater, Conception Seminary College, College of the Holy Cross, Yale Law School. All right, well, let's see, who's next? After Clarence Thomas, we have Ruth Bader Ginsburg, appointed by Bill Clinton. Okay, well, let's see what she is. I think we already know what she is, but we're gonna look anyway and see. Waiting for the results here. You're seeing it live right now on Prophecy Reality TV. Let's see. Religion, Judaism. So we have the score so far is Romans 4. Protestants 0, Jews 1, and atheists 0. Okay, let's close the Ruth Bader Ginsburg window there, and we scroll down, and we have Stephen Breyer. Gee, I don't even think I've ever heard of him before, but let's see what he is. Appointed by Bill Clinton, and I guess he doesn't make too many waves. I've never seen his name before, but. But let's see. What do you think he is? Come on, folks. What do you think he is? Okay, we open in a new window, awaiting the results. Like I said, live here on Prophecy Reality TV. Religion, Judaism. Yes, indeed. Breyer, appointed his alma mater, Stanford University, Magdalen College, Oxford, Harvard Law School. Judaism. Okay, So we put another one down in the Jewish column there. All right, let's see. Live here on Prophecy Reality TV. You'll hear it nowhere else. Waiting the results. So Stephen Breyer is Jewish, a Jew, a Judaism Jew, okay? Because I know there's some Jewish atheists, Jewish Christians, and whatever, but some are Jewish Judaisms, whatever you would call them, participants, religion, Judaism. Okay, we have Samuel Alito, appointed by George W. Bush. George W. Bush, no weapons of mass destruction under here. Ha ha ha, guy. Yeah. So let's see. We'll right-click on this and say Open Link in New Tab, awaiting the results here on Prophecy Reality TV Live. Okay. Let's see. Religion. Roman Catholicism, alma mater, Princeton University, Yale University. Okay, Roman Catholicism. So we put another one down for the Romans. Okay, so far we have Romans 5, Protestants 0, Jews 2, and atheist 0. Okay, so let's close that tab there. And let's scroll down, and who's our next participant here? And is Sonia Sotomayor. Let's see, appointed by Barack Obama, okay, otherwise known as Barry Soetoro, the present Roman procurator. As far as I'm concerned, they're all Roman procurators and have been for a very long time. Remember the unholy trinity that rules the world. Can't get away from that. Okay, well, let's right-click on Sonia Sotomayor's name, open in a new tab, and let's see what the results say. Survey says... Yes, nobody should be allowed to have this much fun. Okay, let's see. Religion. Roman Catholicism. Okay, the Romans get another one. So now we have, the score is 6 for the Romans, 0 for the Protestants, 2 for Judaism, and 0 for the atheists or other. Okay, I should just call it other. 0 for other. I'm going to change that A to an O. Okay? Yeah, because there is other. That means everybody else. Okay, let's see. Close that tab now that we know that Sonia Sotomayor, mayor, or however you say her name, is a Romanist. Okay, scrolling down, who's our next contestant here? Elena Kagan, appointed by Barack Obama. Okay. Let's right-click on her name here, open link in new tab, and waiting the results. And the survey says, let's see, Judaism. So she is a Judaist. We'll call her a Judaist. Okay? So another one, that's 3 for Judaism. 6 for the Romanists, 0 for the Protestants, and 0 for others. It's Princeton University, University of Oxford, Harvard University. Elena Kagan. Okay, well, let's see what we got next. Is there any more? Oh, is that 9? Is that 9? That is 9. That's all 9. I guess I was right. It's 6 Romanists and 3 Judaists on the Supreme Court. Okay? And these are the people that decide, that interpret our federal law. Well, I think that goes to all of the federal tributaries in the states. So there you have it, people. The Supreme Court, 6 of the Supremes, that's a majority. Yeah, 6 of 9, that's 2/3 of the Supreme Court are Romanists with their highest allegiance, because I know how it works for me, I have to admit that that I have an authority and allegiance that is above any earthly government, like, the state where I happen to have my feet on the ground. They have a state of government for that area of land on the earth. Above them, above the federal government or the United States of America, above that one created by the Constitution, and above any other earthly authority, yes, especially the New World Social Economic Order, I have authority that's higher than that. But, as Jesus said when he was questioned by Pilate, he said, "My kingdom is not of this world." So my higher authority is not of this world. It is not in competition in this world whatsoever. As a Protestant, we don't have an earthly authority between individual Protestants and the King of Kings, the Lord Jesus Christ, who sits in heavenly places, seated at the right hand of the Father. And he is our King, and he is our God. So, I have no earthly authority. However, if I was a Catholic, I would have an earthly authority between me, and that would be the head of my religion. See, as a Protestant, the head of my religion is the King of Kings, the Yeshua, the risen Christ himself. As a Catholic, the head of your religion and your church sits on a throne over in the Vatican, and he is the head of the unholy Trinity, because the Vatican is the head of the unholy Trinity that rules the world. So we have 6 Romanists on the Supreme Court of the United States of America that gets to decide all law and all things in these great United States of America. 6 of those, 2/3 of that court having a majority vote and having a higher allegiance than that of the country which they supposedly serve in the illusion that continues to this day. And if not for that Bill of Rights that the Protestants, which have no voice in our federal government whatsoever, but insisted upon, and they could not get that Constitution without it. If not for that Bill of Rights, I could not sit here today and proclaim what I'm proclaiming to you on the radio or on video TV and say the things that I am saying. In many countries, people cannot speak like I'm speaking to you today. And we would not be able to do this except for those Protestant liberties that are enshrined in that Bill of Rights. And I have on my website, firstamendmentradio.com, and I believe you should support the work here, but I put it on the screen. Here's the front page. I'm working on getting better news in here. So because I lost our Govern America News, I have to get with my friend there and see if we can restore that somehow in better news feeds. But there's a couple news feeds there, just supplemental. But you'll notice up here, this is what I want to talk about. This up here in the upper left-hand column, at the top, it says, you'll see there a picture of Martin Luther nailing his 95 Thesis to the Church of the Door at Wittenberg. And I emblazoned upon this picture here freedom of speech, press, thought, and religion, because this is the epitome of this very act that is illustrated here is the epitome of Protestant liberties. Okay, it's freedom of speech, and he was able to say the things that he wanted to say. Press, he put it on a paper, and it was an expression of thought and religion that was banned, not allowed at the time. And the Protestant reformers, not just Martin Luther. Martin Luther became the emblem of the movement. That's all. He was part of it. He was the emblem of the movement, but the movement was an ongoing thing of which he was a participant and became the emblem by which the movement was defined, the Protestant Reformation. And well, when the Romanists rule the world, which they do, and you know the Bible prophecy said that Rome would rule the world until the end, though Rome rules it in the shadows now, okay, and has for so many years, and ruled so well in the shadows that most of the people don't believe it or are in denial of the facts that are before their very eyes. You can go to my website, crosstheborder.org, and go to the home page there, and I'll put that on the screen too. And I have some articles there for your education in case these things are kind of new to you. And here's my website, crosstheborder.org. So just type in your browser, crosstheborder.org, and you'll see many articles. Prepare for the Mark of the Beast. That's a show, broadcast I did 2 weeks ago. God's Chosen People is a clip of one of my broadcasts. Footsteps of Mystery Babylon book preview. If you scroll up here on the right-hand side, you'll see Footsteps of Mystery Babylon, the cover of the book. Press on it. Get the book. Support this ministry. Buy it for a friend. Buy a dozen copies if you can afford it, and spread them around. Okay, so articles you should be concerned about. What our Roman government is doing. Let's see. Vatican moves on Temple Mount 2014. That's the most popular article on my blog right now, so make sure you check that one out. Okay. Vatican moves on Temple Mount 2014, and post that on all your social media everywhere. Okay, end of the U.S. dollar in the world as we know it. Another very popular YouTube video that I have out there, getting a lot of watches or views. Mark of the Beast, target date 2018. We talked a little bit about that. Definitely want to read and check out that article. And on it goes. So many things that you need to understand about what the real battle that is going on, that is epitomized by what I just covered in the score of the Supreme Court. The Supremes, that's what we call them. Then during the 60s they had a Motown band called the Supremes. And so the Supremes today are not a Motown band. They are 9 men who make the final decisions on all adjudicated matters in these great, and especially on all matters concerning the, guess what? Well, I'm going to just call it what it is, the Jesuit Constitution, the Constitution of the United States of America. And except for those Protestant liberties enshrined in those 10 Bill of Rights, many of the additional amendments were to overthrow the original intent and the original documents when the Constitution was ratified with the 10 amendments or Bill of Rights. Excuse me. Well, let's check out the chat room and see if anybody's got any suggestions. Let's see. Barack Obama. No Islam, that's right. Okay, let's see. Know about atheists, non-atheists. Let's see. Okay, well, I hope everybody enjoyed that little segment on the Supremes. And now I have a minute. I have 7 minutes to decide what I'm going to talk about in the next segment. And here comes the break. So, warm up your coffee, take a bathroom break, get a snack, whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. I hope to make it as exciting as the first hour, so make sure you come back for that. You're listening to Cross the Border, our Prophecy Reality Edition. Do not go anywhere.